have a great connection with nature and living things. And they seem to be a lot more important than people in many ways.
You can hear what you're saying, but no one else can. Would you speak up, please?
And as I grew older, the realization that it was all dying was totally terrible. To me, it's like living in an old people's home, and today they tell you, oh, George died yesterday, and tomorrow they tell you Fred is going to the hospital, and and at the same time, us humans denial that we're all the cause of it all, and it's because of us that it's all dying. Makes me live with just this continual pain. But now I can see it more like it's all a dance or a play, and I can watch it, but from another point of view, like from this internal place that's always the same and unchangeable.
In our years together, it's been realized that there's no dogma here. There's no immutable, unequivocal truths given out. But that being said, repeating a little anecdote that was told the other day about the email that I got from a friend overseas who was saying that they loved the work that they did working with people, and it was evident that there were good things coming out of that work, but there was not much financial recompense in it, and there was a decision to be made about whether that should continue or whether they should pursue their spiritual journey by going off to India again and traveling on their quest. The question was asked of everyone, what would you have responded? But I'm going to tell you what I responded. In big letters, capitals. There is only one Dharma. Or there is not a personal Dharma and a universal Dharma, and a personal Tao and a universal Tao, and a personal will of God and a universal will of God, or a personal purpose and a universal purpose. Now that's not unequivocal. You have to answer that for yourself. Because it does appear that we do have a personal Dharma, a personal calling, a personal work. But can you separate it? Can you make a division? So the questions still remain unanswered. What is this Tao, Dharma, will of God, purpose of life? What is it when it's not a wave and a particle? And what is the relationship between our physical, energetic emanation and that state of perpetual presence, that place that Iñaki speaks of, that is there with us endlessly. There was a story told last week that bears retelling because it's an important story in finding the answer to these questions. It was a story about a town somewhere, a town that was inhabited by sad, miserable, burdened people. They shuffled through the town, kicking up the dust on the road so that it covered their shoes and got into the hems of their garments. And the weight of their cares rose like a cloud above their heads. And as is the nature of clouds, it rose up to the heavens and came to the notice of God. And he thought to himself, these people are clouded, blanketed by their cares and woes. They don't know who they are. So he called one of his angels to him, and he said, do you see that dusty little town down there? The angel said, yes. I'll go down and see what I can do. So that day, in this particular town, it was very, very hot, and everyone was suffering. When they met in the street, the men of the town not only commiserated with one another about how business was bad and nobody ever came to buy anything, and this was a day like any other, but they also had the weather to complain about it. It was so hot and sticky and uncomfortable. And then the women by the well not only